Hey everybody, it's Galmadex and welcome back to another premiere draft of the Powered Cube. Without further ado, let's get into the pack 1, pick 1 here. As always, I am pretty new to vintage slash Powered Cube, so let me know if there's anything you think is much better than what I'm taking. Anything that's I'm really not noticing. I've been getting a lot of great feedback in the comments and I really appreciate it because, again, I have not experienced all of these archetypes. It's been really fun to play a lot of these classic cards for the first time and kind of figure out all the little synergies and stuff you can do with them. But anyways, let's get back into the draft here. I think we just take Guide of Souls here. It's just a super busted card for aggressive white decks, which are some of the stronger cards, some of the stronger decks in this cube. So I like running the Guide of Souls right off the bat. But the other card I'm really interested in is the Ancient Tomb. I had a whole lot of fun with the artifact that we drafted. That was just a whole bunch of talismans and a lot of like one mana lands that could play those talismans early. And then you could just spam those mana rocks, play an upheaval, spam those mana rocks, get like a gigantic artifact down early. So that's a really fun one that I like as well. It's probably quite strong for its respective archetype. Recurring Nightmare for Reanimator. As always in Cube, tons of really, really powerful options out of the first pack, but I'll go for the Guide of Souls on that one. Pick 2, Prismatic Ending to stick to white, looks fine. Grim Monolith is another great piece of fast mana, really good for the combo-y, spam a bunch of artifact style decks. This is awesome with the Displacer Kitten that can flicker it to untap it every time you cast a spell. That's pretty fun. So yeah, any ways to untap it and can go pretty hard. Like there's a Tezzeret that'll untap it as well. So Grim Monolith, again, strictly for fun. Pretty cool pick. Could have been Ancient Tomb into Grim Monolith. If I was going for pure fun here, but then I would just draft an artifact deck basically twice in a row. So we'll just take the Pyrogoyf here, which looks like the strongest like aggro follow-up. It's also a little bit flexible. This just seems like a good creature for any red deck, period. The Fear of Missing Out much more like only for aggro. Pick 3. I mean, a Lingering Souls is fine, I suppose. There's a good Reanimator slash Flash slash Sneak Attack target with Atraxa. Good interaction in blue with Memory Lapse and great fixing. Here, I think we take Lingering Souls. Pick number 4. Splitskin Doll's fine. Dig Through Time is huge digging. Huge card draw in blue. Reasonable lands here. No original duels or fetches or anything great. I'm tempted to speculate on Dig Through Time. But we can also take one of these like Army in a Can style black creatures and end up in like actual black-white and actually flashback Lingering Souls, which seems really reasonable too. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Preacher the Schism here. Tolarian Academy pick 5? No, it was the Dream Pod. Ancient Tomb into Grim Monolith. I kind of stopped paying attention to the next couple picks, but then into Tolarian Academy. That'd have been so cool. It's okay, there's tons of great little white creatures for Orzhov aggro here. Or even Flame Slash for Boros. I'll go Kithian. Kithian's like the coolest. Getting to flip into a Planeswalker when you're sending a bunch of creatures in. And Black-White seems to be a more tokeny style aggro deck that can get that Kithian flipping a lot easier. Being a little more tokeny, cards like Woe Strider and Gideon are more interesting here. Because they're both kind of token producers. Particularly Woe Strider can also sack the tokens for value. But there's also Windswept Heath, which the right duels and triumphs and stuff. This is just perfect fixing no matter what deck we end up playing. Although I'm getting somewhat committed here to black-white. I think I can go Heath over these, but it is close. Do love me some fetchers. This has got to be Adeline, right? Massive Army in a Can, no matter what you're doing. With the other ones, you have to be doing other stuff, right? You have to double spell with Zenith. Have to play more creatures with Innocence. Adeline, if she's the only creature on your board, she still works on spitting out that army. Oh, there's Scrubland, though? No! Too bad, I'm taking Adeline. Because we're also still not married to black. Could still go Boros, we see like Showdown of the Scalds here. Could take one of the Triumphs, they're both fetchable off of the Heath. Black, red, green, or red, green, white fixing. So should one of the Scalds move towards Boros, or like Caustic Bronco commit to Orzhov, do something a little different here? Because we've done mono white with a tiny bit of red, and we've done mono red. Sure, we'll go Orzhov, we'll take Bronco. Now we get a Godless Shrine. We didn't get the original Scrub land, but we got a Godless Shrine, which is fine. I don't think Monastery Mentor is going to be great in here. Alright. Try out the Orzhov tokens strategy. That should be cute. It's a deck we haven't played yet. That'll let us keep playing a different deck every single draft so far. We could have had the coolest, strongest artifact deck ever, and in my heart of hearts, I would love to, but for variety's sake, being a YouTube channel, here's another new archetype we haven't played yet. A new color pair we haven't played yet. Prismatic Vista here, or Prismatic Ending. Getting my prismatics mixed up. Takanuma and Portable Hole are both fine. I actually think Portable Hole here because we've got like no non-creatures still. Jadar seems perfect for the black-white tokeny deck. And Adversary is probably better than Lightstall here for like buffing the whole board. Although it is pretty pivotal to have like infinite 1-mana creatures, so it's kind of close between the two, but I'll take the Adversary. We'll have a wider board to be buffing. We wield the Woe Strider. Yeah, black-white tokens looks just completely open. And we get a pack 2, pick 1 Mana Crypt. This will shoot us a bunch over the course of the game, but it will let us play like Preacher the Schism turn 1, or Woe Strider turn 1, or Lingering Souls turn 1, and so on from there. Play stuff really cheap and flood that board incredibly fast. So I'm going to take that Mana Crypt there. And if we're really lucky, we wheel the Luminarch Aspirant, but I imagine somebody's in Boros at least, if nobody's in specifically like Orzhov or anything. Boros is like the much better, more common aggro strat. Pack 2, pick 2. Thoughtseize seems pretty excellent in Cube when a lot of opponents are going for some crazy combo stuff. Trying to disrupt that feels good. Also, if you're in the control matchup, you try to find their Toxic Deluge or Wrath of God or something like that to make sure your board can remain the same, or just like a single 1/4 removal spell. I feel like Thoughtseize is probably really good in Cube. If we're lucky, we wield the Bleachbone Verge. Fatal Push here over Collective Brutality. Similar to Thoughtseize, probably pretty good in Cube for very similar reasons. Although Collective Brutality, like, really nice in the Reanimator decks because you escalate it, discarding whatever you want to reanimate. Alright, I have never played it before, but I know that Parallax Wave is like a really, really good finisher in the Boros decks. Because how do you use it? Remove a fade counter from it, exile a creature. When it leaves the battlefield, return to the battlefield all the exiled cards. So you can like play it and get a bunch of blockers out of the way, or you could flicker your whole board to re-up a bunch of triggers. Okay, I'll take the Parallax Wave and hopefully I can figure out how to play it right. Because I know that it's like really strong. Grief looks good here. Dark Confidant looks excellent. Ah, Mother of Runes too, though. Mother of Runes is really gnarly. Protect your best threat. And they can't even like kill the Mother of Runes or you protect the Mother of Runes. They have to cast 2 removal spells in 1 turn to deal with something, including the Mother herself. Which is what makes her a lot better than the Giver of Runes. I mean, I'm actually going to go Mother of Runes here. Draven Inspector is great. Inquisition also great. I'm actually on quite a few non-creatures now. We do want a very high creature count, so I'm going to go Thraben over Inquisition here. Black-white duel. Always being tapped is kind of rough. Ooh, Carnage Interpreter. Double black and 1. But you play this as your last creature, and then boom, here's a 3-mana 5/5 Investigate 4. Kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to take Interpreter. Got a black-white Triome that I can tutor off of Heath over this Overlord. Got the Bleachbone Verge to wheel. Got nothing here. Another 1-drop or another 4-drop finisher. I'll take the Acolyte here. This card seems good. I've had this cast against me when I was the Artifacts deck, and it completely ruined my day, so maybe we can do the same to somebody. Pack 3, pick 1. On-color Mox, baby. Come on in. A Mox and a Crypt. Really don't know what I'm doing with this archetype, and it just looks like an okay deck so far, so I think off of the back of this Mox Pearl and this Mana Crypt, we should be able to get a solid little 4-3 or something going, just because we're going to have some just absurd blowout opening hands when we draw those. So very happy we got lucky with this one. Got some fast mana. Marsh Flats is beautiful. Virtue of Loyalty is fine. Luis is fine, but I imagine it's Marsh Flats here. Could splash in Comet. Comet just has been utterly busted on the opponent's side of the board every time I've seen it. We're not in a super wonderful position to splash, but I could tutor out a Blood Crypt or a Triome with Windswept Heath. So it isn't the worst splash in the universe. And you know what? This card seems really stupid. In like a funny way, so I'll see if we can get there. Path to Exile or Oust. I feel like the downside of Oust is much less significant. They gain 3, then like they full on get a basic of any kind into play tapped, they ramp up. So I think the downside of Oust is much smaller even when you are aggro. However, being instant speed instead of sorcery speed is pretty big, so I don't actually know which is better. But I think I take the Oust. Vindicate's fine. Not really a Vampire tutor deck, just be down a card to put our best card on top. We're definitely not a Yawgmoth Swill deck. But we're also not really like a Talisman deck, even if it is the on-color Talisman. We don't want to play a Mana Rock on 2, we want to just play creatures. So just take Unexpectedly Absent. Bitter Triumph or Staff of the Storyteller. We actually have a lot of token production here. So Staff works with Jadar, Lingering Souls, Adeline, Preacher of the Schism, Woe Strider, Elegy Acolyte. It's actually a really good staff deck for grinding out a lot of value. Most of our non-creature spells are interaction already, so I think I can pass up on Bitter Triumph for that. And then we get like a cut down anyway. Black-White Duel. This is a sad draft pod for Reanimator players. The whole Reanimator deck showed up in pack 3. They couldn't really build around it. That's insane. Last pack as well, I believe we saw some good Reanimator cards. We saw Death, Life and Death. Blade Splicer also looked good there, but I'm quite high on color duels at this rate, since we have enough playables. I'd rather take a better duel than a better non-land when we have the option. I don't think I care about any of this, but maybe a Lion Sash. Didn't pick up any additional fetch or red source here. I feel like I don't need to try to play around with Comet. So let's say I drop the Comet. 15 lands, so we're cutting no creatures. Or sorry, 15 creatures. We have 15 creatures, 1 staff, 1 lingering soul, so it's basically a 17 creature deck, which is where I think we want to be. We want a bajillion creatures in here. We have a Pearl and a Mana Crypt replacing lands, so auto-cut 2 lands immediately, and this is still a 17-lander. And then it feels like more of a 16-lander kind of deck. We'll go 16-lander. 14 land, 2 artifact lands. And then 3 non-creature cuts, basically. Probably Ephemerates. Although Ephemerate Grief is like the Wombo combo. You evoke it out, ephemerate it, and you get to permanently keep it, and get its enter effect, and then rebound and get its enter effect again next turn. Grief also works with Parallax Wave. If we don't just win the game off Parallax Wave. This is like a fine Prismatic Ending deck, but I think we have enough other interaction to maybe not run it. Same with like Unexpectedly Absent. These are maybe cuts. Fine Parallax Wave, or sorry, fine Prismatic Ending deck because we have this Triumph we can fetch out as well as this Blood Crypt. But I could also just cut them so that all my lands are untapped, which feels probably pretty worth it. And Heath can still grab Godless Shrine. Yeah, we'll just play all untapped lands in this deck. I kind of want to just cut these 3. Run all this 1-mana interaction. A lot easier to, like, on turn 3 go 2-drop plus 1-mana interaction, or, you know, double spell in one way or the other. Portable Hole, Fatal Push, and Cut Down. We have, like, 3 of these removal spells that only hit little stuff. So we have 3 removal spells that are like really bad against the Reanimator / Sneak and Show style archetypes, Natural Order decks. I guess these are fine against Natural Order because you still kill the Llanowar Elf with it. But this feels like a little much for like that only kills the small stuff. So I kind of want to run Unexpectedly Absent over one of these. I'll run it over the Portable Hole. Because, I mean, double white, put the card back on top is still, like, excellent when your opponent tries to, like, sneak attack something. You should be like, I'm just going to pop that back and attack lethal next turn or something. I guess sneak attack's not a great example because then they could draw it and sneak it out again next turn. But, like, if they try to reanimate or something, that's pretty good. Or Tinker. Tinker something out and then you Unexpectedly Absent it. Yeah, no, this is probably better than Portable Hole for sure. And Prismatic Ending has the same issue, where it's going to be for 3 maximum in this deck. And that would be if I ran those red sources, and I just cut those. So it's going to be for a 2-mana or less card. Yeah. All right, we'll cut the stuff that only kills small things. Call it a deck here. Double check the mana base, though. 14 white cards, 11 black. Check our sources. We've got 6 white, 5 black, 4 of anything. All right, that looks good to me. Slightly more white than black. Just 1 more white than black. All right. Now we will call it a deck here, hop into gameplay, and see how well this little Orzhov token deck can go. This is a slow opener, but I'm going to keep it with Thoughtseize Oust as interaction. Courtyard, Thoughtseize. So they're a Titania Zuran Orb combo deck, so we just kill Titania here. They have a Force of Will stranded in their hand, and the rest of their hand doesn't do anything right now. Beautiful. Could Grief the Force of Will, I guess. That does not feel worth it when they don't even have the second blue card yet. Honestly, Force Will is probably just going to be the hard cast 5-mana counterspell. I could Grief Exiling Cut Down next turn. I wouldn't mind that. I actually could have done that right then. Since they don't have anything targetable by Cut Down, doesn't look like they will for a while. They're just going to go raw Strip Mine on us. Fair enough. You got it. Would you like to Force of Will this Grief, or have this Grief make you discard your Force of Will? Time Spiral. Each player shuffles hand and grave back, and they untap 6 lands. The untap 6 lands is scary. But the shuffle back in, draw 7, if I just play these threats out and I'm ahead on board, I think we'll be fine. They're on 3 out of 6 mana right now, and they just play 1 land every turn, unless they top deck a Soul Ring or Crypt or something. I'm pretty sure I ditched their Force of Will, and we just play threats here. Because, like, even when they play the Time Spiral, they'll be untapping, like, 4 or 5 lands, because they'll be playing it off of mana rocks, too. Unexpectedly absent is the draw. That is tragic. I needed Swamp. Alright. That is 5 out of 6 for Time Spiral. I think I actually just put Talisman back on, and then they like shuffle it away. Make them 2 turns away from Time Spiral again. So that maybe I can get Acolyte out first. More likely. Give me another turn to draw the land. Worst case scenario, it's another turn of Adeline swings, so more Adeline tokens. So they crack the Mire first and then keep the Talisman second from the top. Perfect draw, you love to see it. Kaboom. Hers is Bauble. Look at one of our cards at random, draw a card next turn, but then they're just gonna Time Spiral and hope to hit like a board wipe, I suppose. Actually, they can't even do that. They're gonna have to sack to the Zurin Orb here to stay alive. They won't even be able to Time Spiral next turn. That's a Void trigger for Acolyte too, isn't it? No, Void's non-lands, period. Go to 2, and now they can't Time Spiral. Here's Mom. Could have kept Mom in hand in case they top deck a board wipe, but they don't have the white mana for it, and the black board wipe costs a bunch of life, so they would still just die. Okay. Really weird start. Technically a victory. We start off 1-0. Really just all Thoughtseiz's game there. Showing off the power of Thoughtseize. But we start off 1-0 heading into game 2. Here we are, ready for game 2 against Cordo Calls, host of the Limited Level Ups podcast. Great podcast if you're looking to level up your game in Limited, get better at draft and everything. Mulligan from Cord. Cord's got Lutri in the companion slot. So a free companion doesn't really tell us much about the deck because it slots into everything as long as you just have one of every non-land in your deck, which every single card or every single deck in Cube does. Got a solid opener here. Unfortunately, no second black spell to go with the Grief, but being able to just mox out a creature turn 1 and try to draw into some more off of the staff will be nice. Kind of want to play the Shrine untapped turn 1 to get towards double black for Grief faster. In case I like top deck Mana Crypt or something off of staff, I could like play the Crypt plus a black source and play Grief. Alright, draw for the staff. I could still have my 2 black sources. If the draw is Mana Crypt, I play Grief Hardcast. The draw is just a swamp, sadly. So we don't play anything here. We'll play the Plains to hold up Unexpectedly Absent. But then we go Swamp Grief next turn. Blue-red Surveil Duel. Off of the Bloodstained Mire, keep the card on top. Third Path Iconoclast, okay. Mox Emeralds, oh dear. Do I just absent while they are tapped out? And they can't play any more like Moxes or anything? I think I absent here, put that on top before they do anything else for this turn. Okay, Mana Crypt is the draw. You're too late, Mana Crypt. Now I just hardcast. You bum. Dak Faden, Psychic Frog, Nia, Ivora. Okay. I mean, we kill Dak, right? Because they could just cast Dak, take Pearl next turn. Or Staff was also really good for them. If they take Pearl and Staff. That hand is real strong, though. It's not what I want to see. It is now all creatures for the Iconoclast. So the Iconoclast doesn't do anything now. Nia does hit the land for turn. Very good top deck there. For black mana for the Psychic Frog. We got the Fatal Push for the Frog here. It's a good draw. I don't hate ousting Nia here. To send both in. And pushing the Psychic Frog to permanently kill that before they do anything with it. Come on, let's draw some spells. One pokes me. Kolagon's Command. There goes my Crypt and my Grief. Cut down's the draw. Poke for one. Now they get the extra Nia value. Not really extra value, but draw a new Nia, essentially. Uncastable Detective's Phoenix if we kill Nia. Killing Nia would make the Phoenix remain in exile. And Nia would be dead. Oh, not like this deck. We're on essentially a 16 lander if you count the Pearl and the Crypt. We drew both the Pearl and the Crypt, so that's 5 lands plus those two. Drawn 7 lands essentially. And not too many spells. Jesus. Can do better than this, Arena. I believe in you. Just doesn't even do anything on this board, really. Removes the counters in the upkeep. And it slows them down a little bit. Yep. I think we just fog this attack now. It's interesting they don't get them back to our upkeep even if we removed all the counters. I really just like, I think if we drew like one token producer, Staff of the Storyteller could have done so far. Been really helpful. But yeah, Pearl Crypt, 6 lands. 7 lands, sorry. So basically 9 lands of our 16. Is what it is. All right, here we are on the play for game number 3. We are 1-1 right now. Weird victory game 1, and then just a flood loss game 2. Swamp first, so we could play around counter unless we pay 1, which I guess is only days, and we're on the play, so they couldn't have days here. But we want to play the swamp over the plains so that we could Acolyte if we draw Mana Crypts. Library of Alexandria. They're going to go for the draw an extra card every turn. We did not draw the crypts. So we can cast Mother of Runes and draw a card instead. And D. Play the Acolyte here and go pro red to get the trigger. Or I cut down the empty. Play Carnage Interpreter, which I don't hate either. I'd really like this Acolyte on board. I get a 2/2 or I draw a card, it's up to them. We get a 2/2. The part that I really like about cutting down NT is as soon as they ditch a card to NT, they're going to be too big to cut down. Generous Plunderer. I am a fan of Treasure. there's Mana Crypts. Does shoot me harder if Generous Plunderer ever hits me. Maybe I'm killing Plunderer here. Inti only really works on attacks. We can put our opponent pretty firmly on the defense. Yeah, there's the concession from our opponent. That Carnage Interpreter on this board is wild, the mother to protect everything. 2-1 it is, heading into game number 4. Here we are on the draw for game number 4. But our mocks a lot in her opening hand, which is pretty cool. It says turn 1 Bronco, turn 2 Strider, turn 3 Acolyte. Misty Rainforest from our opponent. If they don't have the interaction, our attack next turn is going to be awesome because we're going to have a saddled up Caustic Bronco saddling with the Woe Strider. Ancestral Recall. Power 9 called. And both players have achieved. We've got Ancestral Recall over there, Mox Pearl over here. Well, at least they had to discard one. Feels nice. Ooh, Adeline though? Adeline though? I mean, no saddle? But Bronco draws the card whether or not Bronco is saddled. So getting out the army I feel is better. Cool. Grief plus Bronco makes me not hate exiling a card to grief them. It's still probably not great for me here. I hit a Vindicate as well. Okay, now I think I can go for it here. Oh, you exile the card, not discard it, right? So Woe Strider doesn't work with it, but definitely playing Acolyte over Woe Strider this turn, so still do this. It's Acolyte with the Void trigger off of Grief. Leyline Binding. Okay. Still get the Grief Void trigger for Acolyte. They have Titania with the Fetch Engrave. I think we need to hit Titania. Birds of Paradise, Renin 6, Loot. They have other terrifying cards. Titania does feel like the worst of them here. And then I'll have the Vindicate for getting the Bronco back or for clearing out one of those. I don't hate Vindicating Coalition Relic here. I guess they're gonna have birds as well. Yeah. So I guess it doesn't really matter. Draw the card off Acolyte first and then see what we want to do. Kytheon is the draw. Which they can try to run in 6 Kytheon. If they run in 6, they don't loot, though. If I Vindicate Coalition Relic, they have to top deck a land to cast loot, so then they just play run in 6, kill Kytheon. What if I just Vindicate Leyline Binding? Does Vigilance too? No, loot is an absolute nightmare. We gotta Vindicate a mana source, I feel. And we get our 2/2 off Acolyte for doing so. No top deck land, no top deck land. Alright, well, they don't have the mana to activate loot. It's still a big deal. They probably have to just trade into Acolyte here. Let the rest through. They don't? Oh. Okay. Find Thraben Inspector, Philippagidian.
Gods of this world are worthy of service.
Indestructible lifelinking Acolyte on blocks.
Perks.
Okay. Displacer Kitten loot is insane. Because flicker loot, draw 3, cast something, flicker loot, draw 3, cast something. Or just flicker loot and get mana every time they play anything. Draw the 3, looking for something cheap enough to cast. To flicker again. It looks like they found something. Or actually Renin 6 hasn't been activated yet, so it could just be that. Okay, it was just that Renin 6 couldn't be activated, or could be activated. Terrifying. Terrifying game, but a victory again. We are 3-1 heading into game 5. Really, really puts to the test. Can you mulligan a mana crypt hand? I probably should, because we don't have Carnage Interpreter mana. So we don't have mana for the only threat that we have in this hand. Draw mana there. This hand is so slow, I'm just going to Parallax Wave and Elvish Mystic. And we can flicker our Interpreter if we find the black source within a couple turns. It's their own mana crypt. Noble Hierarch. Springheart Nantuko on the Hierarch. Okay, we just make the Nantuko resolve normally instead. That's the mana we need for Interpreter. I want to cast Vindicate first. Even if I Vindicate Crypt, they still have 3 mana, and they're going to get 2 mana dworks back in a couple turns. I kind of want to just kill Nantuko. Is that crazy? It was probably wrong, but I'm just going to kill Nantuko. This is some cheeky music on this board. I like it. I mean, their hand might just be all mana. Oh, nope. Titania. Titania Zern Orb combo. I can't stop it because Zern Orb's instant speed. If I Parallax Wave Titania, then they just respawn by sacking. Well, I think I just get absolutely domed by Titania Zern Orb. I don't see any way to interact with this. If I activate now, they respond by going sack sack. 2 5/3s. I guess I could exile one of the 5/3s then, if they do that. But then, like, Titania's just going to come back and they're still going to have a Zern Orb. I think we're just dead to that. Straight up. That would have been very good one turn ago. It's not great now, so I'd rather just keep the mana to draw something to deal with Titania combo. Chidara is definitely not that. Here's your 1/1s. Acolyte, nice. It's gonna be the play, I think. 2 blockers up, one of which has lifelink. If I don't trade Acolyte off, then I'm dying to a Tails on Mana Crypt. Okay, Knight of the Reliquary is pretty insane here. There's that Tails. Grief is completely awful here. I'm dead to a Tails on Mana Crypt no matter how I play it already, so I can go ahead and crack this. So now they get to do the exalted attack with the 5/3 to make it attack as a 5/4, so I can't block it profitably. That is a lot of draw. Manadork, land. Okay, not the end of the world. Yep, exalted attack. Force a trump here. I think the decayed zombies are useless enough to just trump with Jadar over the bigger creature that could stack into a double block more likely. Intrepid adversary. Double kick the adversary. I feel like I need to win another coin flip here. I could oust my own decayed zombie. And then I have a 4/4 on blocks against a 5/3, and it doesn't matter if I lose the coin flip, but then I still don't have a path to victory. I think I have to oust their 5/3 and just hope to win every coin flip forever now. In fact, I maybe even should have attacked both. Because, like, yeah, then I am dead to removal, but I'm kind of dead to removal either way. I don't know, maybe we oust our own creature because then it gives me more time to maybe get the lifelink attack off. Ah! Live by the crypt, die by the crypt. Fair enough. Alright. Yeah, I mean, if we ousted the decayed zombie and then just pass, I've got the 4/4 up for their 5/3, and then we try to lifelink attack here. But then my board is smaller, but I have a chance to draw into something more at that point. I get one more draw step. Still super unlikely, but I get another turn that way if I fail the flip. This makes it a much better position if I win the flip, because now if I win the flip, I think I win the game here. Because I win the flip and then I gain 5, and then it doesn't matter if I lose flips from there. If I did the oust thing, if I did the oust thing on our own creature, then I couldn't keep gaining life with this adversary. It would just die the second it attacks, so I'd get one single life gain swing out of it, versus being able to potentially do it over and over. I don't know. Close stuff overall, which was really surprising considering they got the Titania Orb combo. We still got it really close, so a loss in the end, but still got a lot farther than I thought we would be able to. They basically got their Splinter Twin combo. It didn't quite lethal us. We were trying to drag our way back, but live by the crypt, die by the crypt. Here we are on the draw again. Turn 1 Llanowar Elves on the play from our opponent. We're going to cut that down immediately. Green-red, there's Inti. This is a horrific matchup to be on the draw. I feel like any matchup in Cube, or just in Magic the Gathering, the game, is pretty terrible to be on the draw. Yep, come on in, Inti. got Jadar staff combo this time. Draw a bunch of cards. The Cinti can keep getting bigger, but then I can remove like all the counters from it with a Parallax Wave soon enough. Play this pre-combat for the extra counter. I'm gonna activate now in case we hit like a Mox or something free. See, this is what we needed against Cord. Didn't see a lot of removal spells that game. No, Minsk and Boo! I've never played against Minsk and Boo, but I know that it's one of the strongest cards in the whole cube.
We are live and in charge.
They got some real goofy voice lines too.
Look at us. We are tough.
I've probably played that card during Adventures or Alchemy Baldur's Gate, whatever set it was. Probably only like one time. They get a new Boo every upkeep, even if I kill it. If I don't kill it, they fling it for 4 damage and 4 cards. Good God. So how do you play against this? I guess we just try to attack it for lethal, so I need to Parallax Wave the blocker, make sure I can hit Minsk and Boo for 4, and then I can also Parallax Wave Boo. Okay, yeah, we're fine, I think. I have the mana to draw 1 and still do Parallax Wave, so we'll see if we draw something better to do. Painful, but I could play the Bronco this turn too if I do that. Those were quite the draws. Mox Pearl Mana Crypt were the draws this turn.
Our heroic saga comes to an end.
Permanently kill the token and drop Bronco. I believe saddling the Bronco can turn it into life gain. No, it doesn't turn into life gain, but it makes our opponent lose the life instead of us. Mox Jet. Bombardiers! Uh-oh. Boast Trigger, sack another creature artifact to any target. So they can sack the Jet and blow one of these up with the Boast Trigger, or I can Parallax Wave it. Let's Parallax it. Macti and Itla, their stuff's gonna come back tapped. Don't mind if I do. I should have waited for the Bronco attack. Bad plays bad. But now I can saddle with a summoning sick creature, I guess. Which is something. Carnage Interpreter. I'm gonna cast that over Adversary. Oh, I should have played Adversary pre-combat. What am I doing with my life? So it should have been pre-combat Adversary, then I saddle with a tapped creature. Attack with the Decayed Zombie. That was such a loose line. What on earth? We still probably win here, but you know. Remove a fade counter from it if you can't sacrifice it, so it doesn't get sacked yet, because I can still remove a counter from it. I think I actually played that wrong the first time. It's fading, not vanishing. I hate that there's two, like, basically identical mechanics that work slightly differently. Yeah, I don't have the counter on staff because I didn't attack with the Cade Zombie last turn because I punted. I'd rather hold up a Fatal Push than Carnage Interpreter here. I think they're still dead, because their stuff comes back tapped. And their pests are tapped. Yeah, they're definitely still dead. Okay. Hopefully that will go down as the sloppiest game of the draft by far. And somehow that one was a victory. We take those, I guess. And we have made it to where I wanted to make it with this deck. Just some kind of average-looking black-white deck, but it gets carried by Mana Crypt and a Mox to get to the potential 4-3 run here. So pretty happy with whatever happens from here. At 4-2, 4-3 will be the worst record possible. But maybe we can cheese another win or two in here. All right, here we are on the draw for game number 7. Playing against the Lutri deck. Good opening hand. We got the Guide of Souls into Adversary into Lingering Souls. We got a 1-2-3 curve out. But we're going to get turn 1 Entombed, turn 2 Animate Deaded, and that's GG. That's Cube for you. That's Cube, baby. We just die to the Archon here. So we don't have the removal in hand. Yeah, I mean, any creature I play just dies when they declare the attack. Yeah, I mean, if you just don't have removal in the opener, you die. It's as simple as that. 4-3 it is. Cut down doesn't kill that. Well, we're dead to removal here. I guess I could have chumped last turn to not be dead to removal. I instinctually usually save the chump for the last opportunity, but it's probably better to do it first here. Oh, they just have Deluge. Yeah. I mean, we monumentally lose that game however we play it. Disgusting. Okay, 4-3 it is. Fair enough record for this deck. There's absolutely nothing we could do in that last game. I don't remember our other losses perfectly. But I remember now against Cord, we had Parallax Wave, and I didn't realize until basically last game. I was playing Parallax Wave wrong, so we could have bought more time against Cord, I'm pretty sure, to have more opportunities to top deck into something. So, at least in that manner, I'm pretty sure we misplayed. I mean, we misplayed in that last game as well, but again, it doesn't matter at all. That last game was just auto loss. But against Cord, stack that up with some other misplay I missed, and maybe we actually had a chance in that one. I know that we were like ousting and fatal pushing early on some stuff, but I had like nothing on board. I was just drawing no creatures, so position we kind of had to try to buy some time with those. So I mean, maybe I was hitting the wrong targets or something. I don't know. That's a game that I look back on and think maybe there's something I could have done, because thinking back on it, it was a Parallax Wave game for sure. And I did not realize fading is not vanishing. Fading, you don't sacrifice it until your upkeep when it has no counters on it. Vanishing, you sacrifice it when you remove the last counter from it. No idea why they decided to make two mechanics that are essentially the same thing, but you'll remember the wrong one at the wrong time, but they did, so... I misplayed with Parallax Wave, thinking it would go away a turn sooner than it did in all of the early games that we had it in. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like black-white tokens is a particularly insane deck or anything. This deck was fine, as I said, pretty average stuff, but get carried a little bit by Mox Pearl and Mana Crypt to get a slightly above average record. I was expecting about a 4-3 from it, and that is what we got. But I do think it likely could have done a little better with perfect plays. So, a little look at the black-white token deck, but that will do it for this draft. And that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you check out the Twitch channel and link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.